You know, it seems like AI is in every business conversation we have these days.
It really is everywhere right now.
But just kind of dipping your toes in and experimenting with AI isn't the game changer.
No, no,
It's really figuring out how to make it a core part of how your whole company works.
that's the real deal.
We're talking about scaling AI solutions.
Scaling, scaling, scaling.
And welcome to the deep dive.
Glad to be here.
Now, I think a lot of companies are seeing success with AI in little pockets.
Oh, yeah.
Eh,
Absolutely, within teams or specific departments.
Which is great, but how do we go from those small wins to making AI a core part of the entire business?
Yes, weaving it into the fabric of the organization so it's reliable and it's cost-effective at a large scale.
Okay, so let's unpack this because I can imagine this is like taking a restaurant that's doing well in one location
Right.
and then trying to turn it into a nationwide chain.
Yeah.
There's going to be challenges we haven't even thought of yet.
Definitely complexities.
Our sources highlight some really crucial areas we need to focus on when it comes to the scaling process.
For sure.
Where should we start?
Well, let's begin with the basics. The nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
Infrastructure scalability. Because as your use of AI grows, the need for computing power and storage is going to skyrocket.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So imagine if one team's using AI to analyze customer feedback, and then sales wants to use it to predict future trends, and then logistics wants to optimize delivery routes.
Right.
Your current tech setup, your infrastructure, might not be able to handle all of that.
It's like suddenly needing a 6-lane highway when you only have a 2-lane road.
Exactly, a great analogy.
So what's the solution? What's the answer here?
Well, the cloud keeps coming up in our research,
It does.
and there's a reason for that.
What is it?
It's that cloud-based platforms like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud all have this incredible elasticity.
Okay.
You can increase or decrease your computing resources as needed.
So you're only paying for what you use.
Exactly. You only pay for what you use.
So give me a real-world example of how this works.
Sure. Let's say you have a healthcare AI system that's analyzing tons of medical images.
Okay.
During peak times, it might need a huge amount of processing power. The cloud can just provide that on demand.
Wow.
And then once that peak is over, it scales back down automatically.
That's incredible.
It is. And it means you're not investing tons of money in hardware that you might not even use all the time.
That's really smart.
It's like renting out a big venue for a one-time event.
Instead of building a massive auditorium that you might only use a few times a year.
Exactly. You got it.
Now, what about the AI models themselves? If we
Right.
just throw more computing power at them, do they automatically become faster and better?
That's a great question. And the answer is not necessarily.
Okay, why is that?
This is where performance optimization comes in.
Okay.
An AI model might do really well on a small data set, but when it has to deal with huge amounts of real-world data or lots of users, it can slow down or become less accurate.
So it's like an athlete who's great in training but struggles in a real competition.
Yes, perfect analogy.
So how do we keep these AI athletes in top shape as we scale?
Well, our sources talk a lot about quantization and pruning.
Can you break those down for us?
Sure. Quantization is like making your AI model smaller and more efficient.
Okay.
It's like rounding off measurements in a recipe. Still get a great result, but with less data.
Interesting. And pruning.
Pruning is about getting rid of parts of the model that aren't really contributing to its performance.
So you're making it leaner.
Exactly like trimming a plant to help it grow stronger.
I like these analogies.
They help, right?
Yeah, they do.
So for example, a financial AI tool that's constantly analyzing market trends needs to be super fast. Quantization and pruning help it deliver insights in real time.
Got it. So it's all about efficiency.
It is.
Okay, let's talk about the financial side of things because scaling anything in the cloud can get expensive.
Especially with AI's computing demands.
Exactly. So how do we keep costs under control when we're scaling AI?
Cost management is super important.
Yeah.
And it really comes down to being strategic about how you use your cloud resources.
So it's like managing a household budget. You got to look for deals and avoid waste.
100%.
And what kind of deals are out there in the cloud AI world?
Well, there are things like spot instances and reserved instances.
I've heard of those. What are they exactly?
Okay, spot instances are like bidding on spare computing capacity at a discounted rate.
Okay.
The downside is they can be interrupted if the provider needs that capacity back.
So they're good for tasks that aren't mission critical.
Exactly like background data processing.
Got it. And reserved instances.
Reserved instances are like buying a season ticket for computing power.
Okay.
You're committing to a certain amount of usage for a longer time, and you get a discount.
So it's good for consistent workload.
Yes, like AI models that are running constantly.
Makes sense. And what about open source tools?
Oh, don't forget about those.
I won't.
There are so many great open source AI frameworks and libraries that are free to use.
Which saves you a ton of money on software licenses.
Absolutely.
So it seems like there are a lot of different options for managing costs.
You just need to find the right mix for your specific needs.
Okay, so we've talked about the technical side of things, but scaling AI isn't just about the technology, is it?
No, it's not. It's also about the people involved.
So it's a human challenge as well.
Very much so.
You can have the best AI models and infrastructure in the world,
Right.
but if you don't have the right team in place,
Your scaling efforts will fall flat.
so building strong cross-functional teams is crucial.
Absolutely. It's like assembling a world-class orchestra. You need talented people with different skills who can work together.
I love that analogy. So who are the essential players in this AI orchestra?
Well, first you need your data scientists.
Okay.
They're the ones developing and refining your AI models.
The composers?
Exactly. Then you need your engineers.
Uh-huh.
They set up and maintain the technical infrastructure.
The instrumentalists.
I like it. And then you need your domain experts. These are the people who deeply understand the business area where you're applying AI.
So they can make sure the AI is solving the right problems.
Exactly. And then you need your product managers.
Okay, what do they do?
They ensure that the AI projects align with the overall business goals.
Got it. So you need the technical expertise, the business knowledge, and someone to oversee the whole thing.
You got it.
But how do you get all of these people who might come from very different backgrounds to work together effectively?
Collaboration is key.
Okay.
Our sources highlight the importance of regular cross-functional meetings.
So everyone can stay on the same page.
Exactly. Communication is so important.
It is. And what about project management methodologies?
Agile methodologies are really helpful for AI projects
How so?
because they emphasize flexibility and iterative development.
So you can adapt to changes quickly.
Exactly. And don't forget about celebrating team achievements.
That's so important.
It helps to build a positive and motivated environment.
Where everyone feels valued. Now, what about existing employees as AI becomes more prevalent? Do we need to hire a bunch of new AI specialists?
Well, ideally, you're also focusing on upskilling your current workforce.
Okay.
Investing in AI training programs can give your employees the skills they need to contribute.
So even people who aren't in technical roles can learn about AI.
Exactly. And you should also create a culture that encourages experimentation with AI.
So people feel empowered to learn and grow.
Exactly.
Now, once you've scaled your AI solutions, can you just sit back and relax?
Definitely not. Scaling AI is a continuous journey.
Okay, so what does that journey look like?
It involves continuous monitoring and improvement
Why is that so important?
because the AI landscape is constantly evolving. Your models and processes need to keep up.
So it's like regularly tuning an engine to keep it running smoothly?
A perfect analogy.
So what does that tuning involve?
Well, the first step is to track your performance metrics.
What kind of metrics are we talking about?
It depends on the AI application. For AI that classifies data like spam filters, you want to track accuracy, precision, and recall.
Oh?
For AI that predicts numbers like sales forecasts, you might use mean squared error.
Uh-huh.
And for AI systems that users interact with directly, like chatbots, you'll want to measure user engagement.
So you're looking at how well the AI is performing and how people are using it.
Exactly. Both are important.
And that leads us to the next step, collecting feedback.
Yes, getting insights from the people who are actually using the AI is crucial.
How do you go about doing that?
Well, you can embed surveys and feedback prompts directly into the AI application.
So people can give you immediate feedback?
Exactly. And you can also use analytics tools to see how people are interacting with the AI.
So you have both quantitative and qualitative data.
A holistic view.
And once you have all of this feedback, what do you do with it?
You use it to iterate and improve your AI solutions.
How so?
You might retrain your models with new data to improve their accuracy.
Okay.
You might add new features based on user requests.
Uh-huh. Or you might optimize your processes to be more efficient.
So it's all about constantly learning and adapting.
It is.
This has been so insightful, but for our listeners who are thinking about how to apply this to their own businesses, what's one action they can take today?
Our sources offer a really practical call to action.
Okay, what is it?
The first step is to assess your needs, figure out where AI could have the biggest impact on your business.
Don't try to do everything at once.
No, start small. Choose one area and pilot an AI solution.
So you can learn and make adjustments before you go big.
Exactly, and then use those learnings to scale gradually across other parts of your business.
That's such great advice. Thank you for sharing your expertise with us today.
It was my pleasure.
And for our listeners, if you found this deep dive valuable, please subscribe and share it with your colleagues.
And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to explore in the future,
let us know in the comments or send us a message.
We appreciate your feedback. Until next time, keep exploring, keep innovating, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI.
The future is intelligent.
It certainly is.